Hi everyone, my name is Cheyenne and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Florida versus living in Toronto, which is where I'm originally from. First thing, obviously, is the weather. If you are coming from Toronto, Canada, you already know the weather there pretty much sucks 90% of the year. It's cold 10 months out of the year. In Toronto, you get 2 months of summer. In Florida, it's summer-like weather throughout the entire year. We probably get around 2-3 weeks maybe of cold weather. I'm still on Celsius, not Fahrenheit. I'm still trying to learn it. But anyways, there was a time it was probably like 1 degree outside. So it gets kind of cold here sometimes. So we do get that hoodie weather, which I do miss from Toronto, but we get that for a short time here in Florida. Now, it's also a con, the weather here, because we do get hurricanes, we get extreme heat, and during the summer season, it thunderstorms almost every single day. So it's not always what you think it is, beautiful weather every single day. It's not. We do have a little bit of downside, but it's better than dealing with snow and dealing with cleaning snow off your car in the morning and stuff like that. So that is a positive. Another thing I love about living in Florida is we have access to actual beaches. If you're from Toronto, you already know we go to like Wasaga or Sandbanks. Those are just lakes. But here we have access to the actual ocean. And living in Central Florida, we have access to both sides of the coast, so the west and the east. So we have access to the Gulf, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours drive from where we live. And then on the other side, it's about the same kind of distance, hour and a half drive to that side. Now, the downside of that, I would say, is it's the ocean. There's sharks. There's a lot of shark attacks, and
4 shark attacks in less than a week in Volusia County. We've had 2 people bitten at New Smyrna Beach and 1 in Ponce Inlet.
And then today, a 14-year-old boy visiting here from Missouri was bitten on his foot in New Smyrna Beach, or in Daytona Beach Shores, rather.
It's the ocean. It is what it is. Another positive thing, and one thing that really kind of pushed us to be here, is the housing prices. So in Toronto, you already know housing prices are extremely crazy, and for anybody that is around our age, like our generation, it is hard for anybody to purchase a home there right now. Even renting is very, very, very expensive. Now in Florida, it is it's a big difference. In Florida, there's a big difference when it comes to the housing price. Like, you would see a house that here would be around $300,000, but in Toronto, like, that house would probably be priced over $1 million. And not even taking in the conversion rate, that's just what it is. And it's just more affordable here to purchase a house. It's more realistic. Another pro, I would say, kind of, is the cost of living. Just comparing it to Toronto, I know right now it is a bit of a struggle out there to buy groceries and things like that. No, honestly, groceries out here is a little bit expensive too. Another pro, which can also be considered a con, is the healthcare system. So yes, we do have to pay for healthcare here, but the difference is, and I'll give you an example. In Toronto, if you need to see a specialist, you're waiting months and months and months to see a specialist for anything. Whereas here, for example, I need to see a dermatologist. I got booked in within 3 weeks. Whereas in Toronto, you have to wait, like I said, months to see a specialist. So that's a downside of the healthcare system. I actually do want to make a video talking about my birthing story here, because I was very nervous about having a child in the US because, it's a new country and I hear different stories, and I thought I was going to be paying like an extravagant amount of money out of pocket. And I did not have to pay that much. My final bill came, I paid around like 100 something out of pocket. But anyways, that video will come. So when it comes out, I'll go into more detail and I'll even like show receipts. And also the hospital experience, absolutely amazing. Like 10 out of 10 experience. Like, I will 100% give birth there again in the future. Because of the weather, like, there's just so much stuff to do outdoor here. So there is a lot of stuff to do outdoors in Toronto, but I feel like there's just more activities for you to do here. And then living in Central Florida, we have access to Disney, Universal Studios, SeaWorld. I don't support SeaWorld, but that is something. There's a lot of springs here, so you could do a lot of like kayaking. You could do kayaking with manatees. Like there's just so much different things that you can do here that you can't always do in Toronto. Now, a con I would say with regards to that is, yes, the alligators. There are alligators here. Everybody freaks out about the alligators. You just need to know, your place with the alligators. You know, every body of water could possibly have an alligator. So you can't just go ahead and jump into any body of water. There could be an alligator in there. So, you know, just being safe and using your common sense, you'll be good. Hi. Another pro is we actually have SpaceX and NASA here on the coast. So we are able to see rocket launches from time to time, which is pretty cool. Sometimes we can't see it from where we specifically live, but like if you go more central to Orlando, you can definitely see it pretty well. But it's a pretty cool thing to see, because it's not something that you see every day. Another pro as well is the taxes on your income. Compared to Toronto, Ontario, your income gets taxed like way less. The minimum wage here is lower. You know, like with the conversion and stuff, you are still making much more than what you would be making in Toronto. And your money goes a lot further than Toronto because cost of living out there is wild. I'm gonna say like this the whole video. Another pro is being able to travel across the states. And there are pretty cheap flights. So you're able to, you're able to visit different states at a cheap rate, and you can even drive if you want to. We're actually pretty close to the ports, so it's about an 1.5-hour drive from us, so we can easily go on a cruise pretty much whenever we want. Like if you're in Toronto, you got to take a flight to come out to here, drive to the port, and it's just like a whole bunch of extra things for you to do, whereas we can just take a drive, hop on a 2-day cruise, and we're good. Another thing that we like to do out here ties back into doing outdoor stuff. You can go fishing. Almost any pond that you see, you can go fishing in it. So if we had a pond in our backyard, we can fish out of the pond if we wanted to. So it's pretty cool. One thing that you do need to have is a fishing license. If you are a Florida resident, it is much cheaper for you. If you're not, you can get it. It's not a big deal. It's just very different from coming out of Toronto and moving to Florida. I feel personally like, as a Caribbean West Indian person, I personally feel where we live specifically, because we're not in Orlando, where we live specifically, there's a lack of diversity here. There's no West Indian spots around here. There's no West Indian restaurants. There's one West Indian Caribbean supermarket that is down the street from us, and they are super overpriced because they're the only one around. Like the big Caribbean supermarket is over an hour away from us, so they're kind of taking advantage of that. They're the only ones around, so it kind of bothers me that we don't have that. Coming from Toronto, you can just go into your local grocery store and find whatever West Indian products and things that you need. But in Orlando, which is about, depending on traffic, which is about a 30-minute to an hour drive from us, there are a lot of West Indian places. There are a bit more restaurants. There's a lot more West Indian people out there. But specifically where I live, which is on the outskirts, there's not a lot. Another thing that we have a problem with is the lack of halal options where we specifically live. We're so used to just going to any grocery store in Toronto, Walmart, No Frills, whatever the case may be, and they have a section where you can purchase halal meat. They don't have that here. You have to go to specific halal shop where you can purchase meat. And for us, it is far. It's not down the street. So that's a little bit of a sucky thing, but I guess it's just where we live. It's what we have to deal with. But it would be nice if they had something closer, or if there wasn't so much traffic. That's another con. There is so much traffic because we live about 20 minutes away from Disney. So going out to Orlando is not much of a problem. Driving back, you're always caught up in traffic, no matter what. If it's in the nighttime, you may be lucky and there won't be so much traffic, but you're stuck in traffic for quite a long time. And that's pretty much a sucky thing. Oh, one big thing that I do not like about Florida or the States overall is the whole mat leave situation. They don't have maternity leave here. They give you 3 months and then you have to go back to work and take care of your baby or put them in daycare or whatever the case may be. You know, coming from Toronto, I got 18 months paid maternity leave with my oldest, and moving here and then having my baby, I only had 3 months with her, and it sucks. I see a lot of posts on Instagram and stuff, like when people from the States talk about going back to work after 3 months. Like some countries, they get like 2 years of maternity leave, and I don't know. It's just like, is it only here that they don't give a crap? Like moms have to go back to work so soon. I don't know. It's a big thing. I could go make a whole another video about it and complain about it and go into more detail about it. But that's like my biggest gripe about being here. And obviously I want to have more kids. And that just is something that is just, I find very annoying and unfair to mothers. So apparently the minimum wage is 7 something an hour. Like, I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. Yes, things are cheaper out here, if you want to say, but like still, like, how are you surviving on 7 something an hour? Like, that's just wild to me. I don't know. There's certain things that I'm like, this is weird. I like living out here. You know, it's a great experience. It's very different from what I'm used to. I lived in Toronto my entire life, so it was a big change. I'm away from all my family and friends, so it was an adjustment. But, you know, thankfully we have cell phones and FaceTime and things like that, so I can connect with everybody. That's probably the only thing that would ever bring me back to Toronto is my friends and family. But I'm about to Florida life now. But I'm still a Torontonian, whatever, if you want to call me that. This is my personal opinion, my personal experience. This is how I feel. People may feel different about it, but this is just, you know, how it's been for me since moving out here. I do want to go into more details about other things, Disney, like giving birth out here. If you want to know more, leave a comment below and I can talk about it. Oh, the school system. My daughter started school out here, so that is a whole nother experience, which is very different from Toronto. So I did want to talk about that as well. Hope you like this video, subscribe, and see you in the next video.